I was going to come on here and do this today, but I feel like I really need to tell y'all about an unfortunate experience that happened to me in Vegas. But for the most part, I have to say, Vegas was one of the most accessible cities that I have ever been to. And I know I was promising that I would bring my boyfriend Ken, but in the frenzy of packing and everything, as you know, early morning flights are a real pain sometimes. I did not bring him. He'll have to come next time because it's really hilarious. One of the nights, well, where I was at, they had live bands all over, and so one of the nights, it was like they did a cover of that Aqua song, and I was like, this would have been perfect content, but I'll have to come back and bring him. But I'm coming on here, unfortunately, to recount a very ableist thing that happened to me. Um, and I mean, it wasn't pleasant, and it was a crazy display of absolute bigotry towards me. And that type of thing, whether you know it or not, happens to disabled people more than you would um, more than you would think it does, but it does. Ableist bigotry is real, and it's always shocking when it's like displayed out in the open. So I thought I'd come on here and talk to you all about it. I was going to I've been meaning to do a video about how, like, people who claim disability on the internet when they really don't have one, or maybe they embellish their disability, like Munchausen style, for money. That's a form of ableism. Speculating, making videos speculating on somebody's disability or lack thereof or level of disability when you are not their doctor is also a form of ableist thought process, stereotyping, bigotry, that sort of thing. But I thought I was going to talk about it in the abstract, like, hey, this as a concept is wrong, or I've seen this online, or I see this trend online as far as speculating on disability, or using stereotypes to make fun of disability online, that type of thing. That's online. I thought I would come on here and talk about it conceptually, but due to what happened to me in Vegas at the Fremont Street Casino, by the way, which I have to say, let me pull back and say the Fremont Street Casino, how they responded to it, they were absolutely lovely. They took my complaint. I'll explain that in just a moment. They took it, and they really helped me, and they made me feel heard and seen, and even people that witnessed the unfortunate display of absolute bigotry towards me. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me on this live. Um, and I have to say, the casino itself responded really greatly. And I'm going to tell you a funny story of something that happened directly afterwards that sort of just like brought it all full circle and made me feel really seen and heard and loved and just amazing. I'll get to that part. Well, I wanted some late night eats in Vegas, and I had rented a scooter. As you know, there's a lot of walking. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me. There's a lot of walking in Vegas. And so I rented a scooter, and I rented like kind of a heavier duty scooter. I have, some of you have seen on this channel my little Pride Mobility scooter. But I rented a bigger one just because I wanted to see how that felt. And like, it was funny when I rented it because the woman was like, well, you're not overweight, so why are you renting a bigger scooter? And I'm like, because I'm renting it, because I can, because I want to see, and I knew that I was going to be doing lots of exploring in the city, and I wanted to just be really comfortable, and that was really amazing. And may I say that Vegas is one of the most like scooter accepting cities I've ever been in, which it was kind of comical to me to see everybody in a scooter, because essentially Vegas is walking. It's walking from casino to casino, from attraction to attraction, walking here and there. So even if you're not traditionally disabled, like people rent mobility scooters that are like meant for the disabled population just to use because it's out of convenience, and everyone can rent them everywhere. Like hotels all rent them, everybody's using them. And I found it really, really refreshing, and also really funny and odd that like everyone is using them. So everywhere pretty much was like super accessible, and that was just like the norm. So it was really refreshing to be in such an accessible, welcoming city that was like 24 hours. Like that's my jam. I like 24 hours. I'm a child of the night, as they say. I've always partied. I've always, had boyfriends and bands. I've always, went out. The nighttime is the right time. That's just me. That's just who I am. So like Vegas was so perfect for me. Oh, by the way, I like weird soda, and I'm going to actually make the pink drink. If not tomorrow, the next day, I'm gonna do a little taste test recipe pink drink. I have a pink drink situation. It's a homemade pink drink that I'm going to share on my on this channel, in keeping with Barbie. But I am today. I like weird sodas, and this is absolutely a weird soda. When I was a kid, I used to like Faygo chocolate soda, and they don't make it anymore. So I've been looking for like a chocolate soda. And I'll get back to my ableist story in just a moment. But yes, if you haven't had it, Arizona makes one called the chocolate egg cream, which I've never seen in like a can. I've always had it in like Chicago delis or New York delis when I went and visited New York or Chicago. But like this one, I'm gonna taste it on camera. It's pretty chocolatey without being too sweet. Yes. I recommend. It's for charity. I'm not sure what charity it is, but you can check that out. Yes. That's my drink for the day. Anyway, yeah, for the most part, I just found Vegas to be really kind of an interesting place for art, and also an interesting place and just like for accessibility features in like everywhere, because older people go there and spend a lot of money, so it's more accessible than you would think. And scooters are the norm. It's like, yes, scooter army, we're coming for you, and that sort of thing. So that being said, because scooters are the norm and because everyone uses them, and I didn't really think about this before, but now I really think that some entitled a-holes, really, they go on vacation to Vegas and they get annoyed at how many scooters there are. And they like stereotype it in their own mind that, oh, you must not have a disability. You're just lazy. And then, they say things out of their mouth, because now I think people more so than ever today, in today's world, think that they're constantly in a Facebook or YouTube comment section, and they can just say whatever they want to say, except in certain circumstances they're not in a Facebook comment section and it's real life. And they have like a delusional like break with reality in that way. I don't think I'm wrong in saying that. I think that I'm kind of onto something, that like social media has really made people kind of delusional about like what they say or how they say it, or they say things in person that maybe they wouldn't say in another context, because they forget that they're actually talking to a person. I don't know if that's what happened in this situation, but in my last night in Vegas, I went for some late night eats to the Fremont Casino, and I had seen an advertisement for this place called Lanai Express. And my name is Damien, so I really I'm well aware of Hawaiian culture. And yes, hello. Thank you, Mary. And do I like hot chips? I don't know what that has to do with my talk, but yes, I do like hot chips. Yes, it just depends on the brand, I guess. Anyway, so I had heard about this place called Lanai Express, or I had seen the sign about the Hawaiian plate lunch. And so I wanted to try it, and it was my last night in Vegas, and I was like, why not? So like, and the restaurant was sort of like out of the way. I was trying to find the restaurant in the casino, and and I had been consuming a little alcohol, and so as it were, and I had to go to the bathroom. Well, in that particular casino, there's an old part and a new part, and the old part is less accessible than the new part, but I didn't know that I was in the old part, so I attempted to go in the bathroom with the scooter, and the scooter is larger than I'm used to, but it's not like I don't know how to drive a scooter. I have one. And I had been driving the scooter around Vegas all like for the past couple of days, and it was super fun. And it was super fun to see everybody else doing that too. It's just like I felt so seen, in a way. And so, like I was like maneuvering in a bathroom in a mobility device is not anything new to me. It's normal, but sometimes it's a pain. You have to kind of maneuver differently than you would or whatever. But I wasn't, because the city is so accessible, I wasn't anticipating a small bathroom or not being able to get out of the bathroom or anything. I was just like, okay, I'm just going to zip in the bathroom and zip out and then go get my food. And come to find out, I just was in an older part of the casino, and I just didn't know that the bathroom was not accessible. So like I went in and it was like really difficult to like turn my scooter around. The pathways were really narrow and like get out. So I sort of had to like scrape on the wall, and I was like just remarking, and this lovely Good Samaritan was like trying to help me and like trying to like hold the door, and she actually was trying to really assist me. And usually when people assist me, they do it wrong, but she was really trying to help me and trying to get me out of the door. Well, the exit was super narrow to the point where I had to like sort of go past the wall. Like it smushed up, the scooter arm smushed up against the wall and made a noise. And so then I was just remarking to the lady, like, like they've had 35 years to catch up to the ADA, which I think is a fair point. Like, I understand that you might be a historic casino, or, you may not have all of your bathrooms modified in accordance with the ADA, but, I mean, I am using your casino, so like I should have the expectation that I should be able to use the bathroom without a problem. And so I was just remarking to the lady, like I know they're an older casino, but they've had 35 years to catch up. And then this other lady in the bathroom was laughing, and we were just remarking at that. And this utter B word, I don't know if I can swear on this channel, but this utter B word from behind the stall door. She goes, this is a historic casino. This is a historic casino. This is like, this casino is like 35 years old. I'm like, the AD, I said lady, the ADA is 35 years old. She's like, this is a historic casino. I'm like, okay. And like, then I just, I was leaving the bathroom. Like, I wasn't going to continue the conversation. And she's like, whatever, you're just going to have to, you people are just going to have to put up with it. And I said, excuse me, B word. I said, this is an A and B conversation, and you can see your way out of it. Like, I didn't ask your opinion from behind the stall door, okay? Like, if I want to remark that it's difficult for me to get out of a place, I should be able to do that. Like, mind your business, lady. Like, and everyone in the bathroom was like agreeing with me, like, yeah, And so I just left the bathroom. And yeah, I did call her a B word because she was being a B word. And, disabled people put up with a bunch of rudeness all the time in regards to their disability and like public rudeness and jokes. So I was just like, I'm not going to put up with it. I'm here to have a good time. And I had a problem in the bathroom that everyone could see and was actually helpful towards me. But this chick, man, I don't know what was up her, but it was crazy because I left the bathroom. I was like, biatch, I was like, listen, biatch. But like, she came out after me and she proceeded to follow me. And she was like, yeah, you're probably faking it. You're probably faking your entire disability. You can probably walk. You can probably walk. You can probably walk. And her stupid husband in freaking Velcro sandals and khaki shorts was just standing there, and like he was just like waiting. And I get the feeling that she was like a Karen that does this kind of crap often and runs off at the mouth, and he just has to sit there and take it. Like, I'm sorry that she's married to you. Like, ew, like, ew, those people have sex. No, it's like you don't want to think of those two people doing it. No, thank you. Gross. Like, but anyway. Yeah, so he's just standing there in his fucking khaki shorts and like, and she goes, you can probably walk. You're probably faking it. You're faking it. You're faking it. And I'm just like, excuse me? I was like livid. At this point, I was not having it. I'm like, look up the word ableist bigot in the dictionary. Look it up because I'm sure you don't know what that is. You need to look it up and you'll see your picture right next to it. And she started to walk away and I followed her and I said, you are a bigot. You are a bigot. You're an ableist bigot. I said, what business is it of yours what level of disability I do or do not have? I'd like to know that. What business is it of yours why I'm using a mobility scooter at all? It is none of your business. None of your business, you rude, you know what? And then at that point, the stupid husband pipes up and goes, oh, come off it. I said, listen, your B word came to me. I didn't mess with her. She came to me. So you're going to hear it from me. And I said, you need to learn how to control her because she needs to be controlled because obviously she's not very nice. She didn't learn any manners when she was growing up. And he just was like, oh, come off it. And I said, I'll come off it when you stop being ableist. I'll come off it when you stop being a bigot. I'll come off it when disabled people don't have to face harassment by the likes of you. That's when I'll come off it. That's when I'll come off. That's when I'll stop talking about this. You idiots. And she goes, you're just, she goes, and she had a cocktail in her hand, right? She had like a frozen daiquiri or whatever, and like, and so did I, but it's freaking Vegas, dude. Like, I'm sorry, but people in scooters are gonna drink, right? And to be honest, I wasn't drunk. I had like one of those like fun Vegas cocktails with like, and those things are like $30 and they have one shot in them. It's really kind of sad, but like, anyway, so she goes, you're just drunk. You can probably walk. You're just drunk. And this is what she was doing while she was saying that. It was so, she's like, you're just drunk. You're just drunk. You can probably walk. Ugh. I was like, oh, really? I said, who's the one that can't walk? I think it's you that can't walk. And then, I don't know, she just walked away. And then I was going to leave. And I was like, so shocked. I called my niece. It was 3 hours difference, but I called her crying because I was like so shocked. And like my niece, shout out to my niece. She talked me down from the ledge basically. And I didn't think it was going to affect me because these things have happened to me before. But when whenever you face that level of bigotry, it's always just kind of shocking. And I was gonna leave, but then I was like, no, this B word is not going to ruin my good time or my good evening or where I want to eat or what I want to do or where I want to go. If I leave, she wins. If I leave, bigots like her win, and I'm not going to let her win. So sometimes you hesitate because you just want to get on with your life. You hesitate reporting this type of thing. And I decided that I was going to report it. And I went to the casino security and I reported the incident in the bathroom. And the security guard was super nice. She was super like sweet as pie, even though I was sort of like emotional. And she came up to me and my lighting is going away. She came up to me and she really like helped me, and escorted me to the security desk. They made me make a statement. And the thing that was like very like amazing to me, I didn't think I was going to get emotional, is when these things happen to you as a disabled person, when someone's overtly bigoted towards you, many times you're alone when they do it because they don't do it in front of people. I got news for you. They don't do it in front of people. They do it when they think they can get away with it because you're alone and no one will witness their utterly stupid, bigoted behavior. And so, like, what happened when I was reporting the incident is this woman that was also in the bathroom, independent of me, she didn't even know it was me that had the situation. Independent of me, she had come up to the security desk and she's like, I want to report an incident in the bathroom. And I want to report an incident in the bathroom. And she's like, there was this woman and this other woman was super rude and mean and and just like really super, like she was being a bigot towards her. And then I was like listening to the woman recount the story, and she was like, I was like, hi, it was me that happened. She's like, oh my God, that woman was so horrible to you. I'm so sorry that occurred, and I'm so sorry that happened. And like I just felt so validated. I need to turn on a light. I'm gonna actually, you know what? I'm gonna actually come on in a few minutes and do a part 2 of this live, because I think the end of the story is really sweet. So I will be right back. I promise you guys. I will be right back. Right back.